Hello, Knockouts. Tonya TKO here, and I'm a self-love specialist and relationship expert from TonyaTKO.com. And today we're doing a follow-up to the Ace Metaphor video that he put out the other day where he was talking about wanting to be loved for much more than what he brings to the table financially. And so let me start out the video by saying thank you to all of the men and women who commented on the video, especially some women who did the arbitals. And for those of you who know my videos, you know the arbitals are reading between the lines, where you all picked up on some things that even I didn't pick up on when I first saw the video in terms of who the target audience is, who was his target audience, as well as which audience is going to be targeted by this video, and what is going to be the interpretation or how this video will be used or weaponized in the Black community. And so I'm going to say this first and foremost. In this video, we're going to be talking about race. We're going to be talking about gender. We're going to be talking about rape as well as onslaught of attack. And so viewer discretion is advised. If these are topics that are sensitive to you, I'm letting you know right now that this is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be jumping into it. And I'm not sure if you can tell from my demeanor or not. I'm very upset right now, and I'm trying to hold it down. I'm trying to hold it in. Listen. I've been making videos for 11 years, and I've never quite spoken about what we're going to talk about in this video out loud. And I realized so let me also thank all of the people who have been creating the dialogue with me. Because I say shame on any vlogger who has a platform and there are painful things that are coming up in the community to be discussed, and they ignore those painful things that need to be discussed in order for financial gain, for favor, to remain quote unquote positive or whatever. But listen, we're going to jump into it today. Listen, we're going to jump into it. Please, please, please don't let me snap in this video. All right, let's go. Brought my whiteboard back out. You guys love that whiteboard in the last video. I was clowning on that one. But we're going to be completely serious in this one. All right. So when someone, you know, part of the reason that I'm doing this video is because Ace Metaphor came and he commented on my post on Facebook saying that he made this video because the men who come to him and talk in private about all of the stuff that they're going through with feeling like they're being used for being providers. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I have 10 lines up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This represents 100, okay? Or it can represent 10. Out of 10 of your friends, let's talk about the numbers, because you know I'm a numbers person. I like to get things out on the board. Out of all of the women who are out there, let's say you have 10 friends. Out of those 10 friends, how many of those women are just straight gold diggers? They don't care about men. A man can offer them nothing or can offer them first and foremost money. But if he ain't got no money, she's gone. Out of 10 of your friends, how many women are like that? Listen, I'm talking in the Black community, right? I would say I can't think of in my circle out of the 10 women and from what it is that I'm seeing out there. So let's square root this. Let's take 10 to the power of 2, right? So now we have 100 people. Out of 100 women, how many do you feel are just straight on that tip, right? And I'm saying even out of 100 women, it's in the Black community that just don't care nothing, that she won't give him no love, no affection, no nothing if he ain't bringing that Skrilla. We talking about that paper. I can't even. So let's take it on up to the third power, right? Let's take it up to the third power. So now we have 1,000. I remember when I went to high school with 3,000 people. Let's say half of those people were boys, half of the people were girls. Out of 1,500 girls, we'll make it an even number and make it 1,000. There was one girl, one who I would say possessed the characteristics of just being a straight gold digger, and she was really beautiful too. And well, she's still beautiful. And she actually ended up marrying a celebrity, marrying really well, because she made that her priority. All right. So now when we start talking about the epidemic of all of these gold digging women in the Black community, let's look at the numbers. And if you want, you can go ahead and you can do your numbers and you can place your numbers below, because this is the example that I'm giving from what it is that I know from being world traveled and speaking to thousands of people as well as coaching people daily. So when we start talking about 1 out of 1,000, we have 1 over 1,000. When you have 3 zeros, there's an imaginary dot right there. So you put the 3 over here, so the dot goes here, and then we got 0.001 right there. And when we start doing the percentage, then we have to do the listen, let's just jump to the chase, right? So we have 0.1%. Let's say 0.1% of the women in the Black community are just straight on that paper chase. So why then? Because listen, if there's one thing that I know about women, and I'll tell you this unabashedly, listen, a man could never outlove a woman, ever, ever. With what it is that women give and pour into a man could never outlove a woman. Who was this video really intended for? Because let me put the number right here. We got 0.1% of the community who is just, you can't see that, straight gold diggery, right? However, what it is that we do have, because listen, there are plenty of women out there who would love to love Ace Metaphor and all of these other men. There are women out there who are overweight. There are women out there who have one eye, one leg, one arm, maybe some sort of mental disability, maybe another type of disability. Maybe they're a little bit older, maybe any gamut of things. There are many, many women out there who would love to give nothing but love. So when he starts talking about things like, oh, I want to be loved for more than just what it is that I'm bringing to the table, there's a lot of things going on in the Black community right now. All right, so what it is that he is really, truly saying, the arbitals that I picked up on the first time and the second time around, is that he wants someone who's young, beautiful, desirable, somebody who looks good, somebody who's able-bodied, hetero, someone who looks good on his arm, somebody who's going to be a good look, right? Who's going to, and this is someone who's going to be a good look on his arm without ever really participating in the financial upkeep of that good look. When we start talking about whether or not in the Black community, whether or not women are loving men for more than what it is that they're bringing to the table, far too often I'm seeing that there really isn't that much being brought to the table. Listen, come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, all right? So here we go. Who do you think he made this video for? And what do you think when he says that he was talking to these men, and that the men were like, oh, I want to be loved for more than just being a provider. If we started at the very basics, are these men even providers? Have they even provided? Have they started there with protecting and providing? Because I'm going to tell you this, the net wealth of the average Caucasian family in this country is $167,000. You want to know what the net wealth of the average Black family is? 11,000. 11,000. Where are all these families and these women that are only interested in a man for what it is that he's providing? What it is that I can gather? And if I were to do the arbitrals on this and gather up something from this, what I would imagine is that there were some men who came to him complaining, oh, these women just want you for being a provider because the women won't mate with them. Listen, and I don't blame them, but I got to say this as a caveat. There are far too many women in the Black community who are mating with men who are not providers and who cannot provide for the children that they create with them. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. So what it is that I imagine is that these men are not getting access to the prime women that they want. Women who are in their youth and in their full flourishing fertility. They want these women And they want these women to give them access to all it is that they want without being able to do the bare minimum of being a man in that relationship, of being a protector and provider. So they're going to Ace and they're complaining, oh, the women don't want me, they just want money. Well, listen, baby, your penis produces children. Of course, there has to be some money to take care of those kids. Listen, all right. So here we go. We already talked about this before, how Black women are on par to escape poverty, on par at the same rate as white women who are born into poverty, until these Black women get with Black men, who then saddle them with children, or saddle them with his brokenness or his debt or his inability to be able to provide. And then he drags her back down out of the ascension that she was going, back down into the depths of the gutter and poverty in this relationship. So listen, you guys remember from the 60s that movie Claudette? A lot of men like to bring up this movie. I feel myself about this. All right, let me calm down. All right. You guys remember that movie, Claudine? I don't remember what it was. It was with James Earl Jones. And just to kind of lighten the mood a little, I remember when I watched that movie, I rented it from the library and I was waiting to see James Earl Jones. I was like 3/4 of the way through the movie and I'm like, where's James Earl Jones? I didn't even realize that he was young in that movie and that was a young James Earl Jones. I was stunned. But nonetheless, when we talk about that movie, a lot of men like to bring up the fact that a woman couldn't get public assistance if she had a man in the house. An able-bodied, able to work man in the house? I need you to help me make 2 and 2, make 4. I need you to help me put this all together. Because from what it was that I remembered in that movie, this man, it's like they want to be able to come to your home, play all around inside your womb, sitting up there, taking up electricity, using up the gas to feed you, using up the cable, the sofa, taking up space inside of a rented domicile, and bring nothing to contribute to that household. I'm about to use some profanity. You damn right. You damn right if there's an able-bodied man sitting up there on his ass not doing anything. You damn right the government has reason to be like, well, what's going on here? What's happening here that you got this man sitting around here and you don't have money to be able to take care of these children? I remember he had money to rent a Cadillac and do all that other stuff, but he didn't have money to contribute to her and her children, but he had the time and money to be up there swimming around inside of this woman without contributing. Let's move on. Let's move on. In the Black community, we talking about I want to be more than just a provider. In the Black community, our children are poor. They're poor. They're going to the worst schools, living in the worst neighborhoods. Mind you, neighborhoods made unlivable by Black men. And the wreaking of havoc and violence in those communities, right? But instead of getting up and taking your happy ass to go and make a video talking about instructing or leading these men not to make these neighborhoods so unsafe, instead you're making a video because the targeted audience for this may have been women or whatnot, right? But let me put my pen down, who this video is really going to go out to are women who are already disenfranchised, marginalized, who are already not doing so well in the community, who have men coming up there talking about, love me for more than what it is that I can bring financially. Let's just start with that. Let's just start with helping our children be safe, getting our children out of the ghetto, cleaning up the neighborhoods of the violence of Black males. Let's start with being a protector and a provider first, because I will tell you this, right? There is a war going on out there. This man coming up there talking about, don't cry. You don't show your feelings. I got beat. I got reprimanded for having feelings. Yeah. You think it's a joke? You think I joke out there? Whew. You think it's a joke? You think that I had the luxury of standing up there crying as a child? What is some of you black men are not raised in households with black women? Were you not there? I was there. I have a brother. No, he couldn't cry, but guess what, doggone it, neither could I. You know why? Because the lives that we live in this country is not conducive. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not conducive. It's not conducive for black people, male or female, not to be in control of their emotions. There's a war going on out here. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. You didn't have the luxury, well, neither did we. And if you want to start talking about numbers, let's bring the board back out and talk about some numbers. You want to talk about some numbers. 1 in 6. In the rest of society in the United States, 1 in 6 women will be sexually assaulted in her lifetime. You want to know what it is in the black community? Here we go. 4 out of 10. 40%. This is 40% right here. 40% will be sexually assaulted. 80% of those before the age of 18. You want to talk about having all of these burdens that come upon you, that now you have to go onto the woman for her to come and heal you. There's so much brokenness that exists in Black American women that we are riddled with disease, fibroids, endometriosis, cystic ovaries, polycystic ovarian syndrome, thyroid issues, which John Gray's wife has some of herself. We're talking about our bodies holding in all of this pain and torment from childhood, only to grow up for some man to come who hasn't done his work to try to lay his burdens down on you too and then riddle you, God. Listen to what I'm saying. Fill you, listen, with his issues. Having your body riddled with disease and then dropping off 2 or 3 babies to leave you there to raise on your own, like you didn't have enough issues on your own. Now you gotta give birth to the babies and grown men. Come on, listen to what it is that I'm saying. It's like when do we get the opportunity to heal? It's like it's an onslaught, constant and never ending. And then you have the nerve to get up here and talk about you don't want to be just a provider. Let's start with that. What is the plan? What is the plan for fixing our communities and getting our children out of harm's way? Because listen, if they don't get killed in the ghetto, listen, our children are not safe. It's like each and every day, people ask Black women to lay down, open up her body, open up her womb, and push out children into an environment where there's no guarantee from the participation of Black men that those children will even be safe. Not only will they not be safe, 4 in 10 girls in the Black community will be sexually assaulted by a Black man before the age of 18. Every 21 hours, a Black woman is killed by a Black man. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. There are problems in our community. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. There are problems in our communities. And the fall always lands onto the shoulders of the woman. What's wrong with you? Why don't you want to take care of me? And then the women who have done the work themselves, who've done the work on themselves, then they get men coming, talking to people like Ace Metaphor. They don't want me. They don't want me for more than what it is that I can provide. Listen, honey, The male orgasm creates children, but men are always wanting to go out there and have these orgasms without a plan on how to take care of the children, how to keep, we don't control our food source. You want to talk about being dependent on the white man? We don't control our food sources. We don't control the buildings that we live in, the homes that we have to raise the children. We don't control the streets, the roads, the houses, the food, the clothes on our back. We are dependent on white people for that. And then you get up talking about, I want to be loved for more than just being a provider. Really? Really? There's a war going on out there. What are you doing, boy? What are you doing to get yourself prepared and your children out of this war zone? What are you doing? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And then, when there are people who have a plan on how to get out of the situation, we have Black men who are actively discouraging people who want to get higher educated. You think you're too good. Oh, look at Poindexter. Discouraging other boys from going and getting themselves educated. Look at you. Oh, you don't need to work out, mama. You look good. Discouraging health and wellness in the community. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. And when the Black women go through all of that mental onslaught and continue to push on and go get educated so that she can be able to create some finance and some income for her and her future children or future family. What is it that you're doing? You're standing up there in the corner. What was your plan? What was your plan? 75. I looked up the numbers in 2012. 75% of the enrollment in Black colleges were female. 25% were male, and then 1 in 3 of those would drop out. So when it comes time to talk about what's going on with the Black family, and you have the nerve to get your Black ass up there talking about you don't want to be a provider? Boy, is you serious? Let's start with that. Let's start with being able to create some sort of economic base in this country so that we can have some power. We have no power. And yet you complaining, oh, nobody wants to lay down with me and I don't have no money. Really? Is you serious right now, boy? Getting yourself together, trying to figure out a plan for your future children needs to be your first priority. Listen, you know what? I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to leave some things unsaid, right? Because it's like we go through all of this in this country. The Black woman is the least protected person in this country. And it's like, God, it's like, I feel like we're living in some sort of alternate reality where people are not seeing what's going on. It's like people come, and when I talk about the Black woman being God, you're doggone right. You're doggone right. It's like people look to us as an endless wealth of resource, power, covering, forgiveness, healing, and all of that. Meanwhile, listen, who is there? Who is taking care of the Black woman? How is the Black woman getting healed? Listen, I'm telling you, look at the rate of disease of Black women's feminine parts. Look at the rate out there. And then when all is said and done, just like the white woman, when you guys take our nipples out your mouth and finish breastfeeding, listen, literally and figuratively, the moment you take our nipple out of your mouth, being breastfed, you then go and turn on that same Black woman who fed you and nurtured you and catered to you and raised you. And you go and you vote for your own interests. You go and you vote for that which is at the apex of what concerns you. So that if you're a man, you're down with male issues. If you're white, you're down with white issues. And there, the Black woman is the mule taking the fall for it all. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, really? Really? I mean, I constantly hear Black men complaining about all it is that they have to go through. At least you're going through this as a man. Imagine all of that. And then also being a woman on top of that. 33% weaker, 33% smaller. Having to care for children that no one is there to assist you with. And when we start to, you want to talk about, look at all of the light-skinned people that you see out here. All a result of rape of the Black women. I'm talking about when we go back in the generations, when you see all of the people out there all mixed up and everything, where do you think those children came from? We're talking about hundreds of years of rape and abuse in our DNA, and then we come up here today. We come up here today only to hear, oh, why won't you cover me more? Boy, I'm tired. I'm tired. I was raped at the age of 7. I did my work and I healed myself. People want to be like, oh, Tonya, that's why you're not married. You're doggone right. Not until I meet a person who has also, listen, done his work. I am not absorbing you into my womb and healing you, pushing you out brand new and leaving fibroids and all types of tatteredness scarred up in my uterus. I will not birth you. I will not. All I said in that video was that the man needs therapy. And even that was too much. To expect you to go out there and heal yourself was too much. Listen, I want your thoughts below. I'm happy that I didn't snap. I had a few moments there where it was close, but I didn't snap, so thank you. Let's hug in this video. Hug me, hug me, hug me. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? That's right. Love yourself. Love yourself. And loving yourself is realizing that each person out there got something that they're dealing with. Take care of yourself. Take care. Know and notice and realize the stuff that you have going on inside of you. You know, one thing I'm going to say before I left this video, and I'm sorry to put it this way, right? Part of the reason that Black women are so masculine in the Black community is because we have to. We don't have the luxury of, I have Caucasian friends. I do. And they're a lot more free-flowing with their tears, that they have the ability, and to me, from my point of view, many of them don't really seem equipped to be able to deal with the harshness of life. And that's, I think, part of the reason that they vote in alignment with white men, because they know at the end of the day, they're not equipped. Yet here we are, Black women, we are hundreds of years into this conditioning. Don't cry. I heard that too. I got beat up. How many of you, I'm going to give you something to cry for, dry those tears, suck those tears back in. You better not cry. What you crying for? You want something to cry for? I didn't have the luxury of just emoting. Because like I said, there's a war going on out there. But what is the plan? Listen, this video is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I will see you all in the next video. Continue to send me these. If you like these videos, make sure that you share them and subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe or whatnot. And most importantly, leave your comment below and let's start the dialogue, because that's what this is all about. We have this opportunity right now on this platform to be able to have a dialogue. So let's have the dialogue. But make sure that you watch all parts of this video so that you can know what it is that you're dialoguing about. So listen, Tonya TKO, and I am out. Peace. Whew.